Rain was falling outside the apartment window while Aarav stared at the glowing screen of his laptop. Another rejection mail. He closed his eyes for a second and took a deep breath. Around him, the room was messy with books, resumes, and half-finished cups of coffee. At 24, he felt like life was running ahead while he stood completely still. From the dining room, his father's voice came sharply. "Dinner is getting cold." Aarav walked out quietly and sat at the table. His mother served food without saying much. His younger sister, Tara, kept scrolling through her phone, pretending not to notice the tension already filling the room. His father looked at him and asked, "Any job update?" Aarav shook his head slightly. "Not yet." Rajesh gave a dry laugh. "Not yet. Every day the same answer." "I'm trying," Aarav replied softly. "Trying?" his father said louder. "Sitting in front of a laptop all day is trying now?" Aarav clenched his fist under the table. "You think I enjoy this?" "I think you've become comfortable depending on your family." The words hit hard. Tara stopped eating. Their mother whispered nervously, "Please don't start again." But Aarav couldn't stop anymore. Months of pressure exploded at once. "You think I'm lazy? Every friend of mine is moving ahead while I'm stuck here, feeling useless every single day." His father slammed the table. "When I was your age, I handled responsibilities instead of excuses. And when you were my age," Aarav shouted back with tears building in his eyes, "the world wasn't this expensive, this competitive, this impossible." Silence covered the room. Aarav pushed his chair back and walked into his room, leaving the untouched dinner behind. That night, the electricity suddenly went out. The apartment became dark except for faint candlelight coming from the kitchen. Aarav searched through old drawers looking for a flashlight when he noticed an old keypad phone covered in dust. It belonged to his father. Curious, he pressed the power button. Surprisingly, it still turned on. Inside the gallery were old photos, tiny rented rooms, broken furniture, his mother smiling beside a stove, a younger Rajesh wearing dirty mechanic clothes, baby Aarav sleeping peacefully on his chest. Aarav slowly scrolled through everything until he noticed voice recordings. He pressed one. His father's younger voice played softly through the speaker. "Today, Aarav got fever. I couldn't buy medicine immediately because salary comes next week. I feel useless as a father, but one day my son will live a better life than me." Aarav froze. He played another recording. "I skipped dinner today so Tara could drink milk. It's okay. Fathers don't get hungry." The room suddenly felt heavy. For years, Aarav only saw an angry, strict father. He never saw the frightened young man hidden behind that anger. The next morning, Aarav noticed his father leaving home earlier than usual. Something inside him pushed him to follow quietly. Rajesh drove his old scooter through crowded streets and stopped near a warehouse. Aarav stood far away watching him unload heavy boxes with other workers. One worker asked, "Why are you still doing this at your age? Your back pain is getting worse." Rajesh smiled weakly while lifting another box. "My son needs time to build his future. Until then, I'll carry the weight." Aarav felt his throat tighten. All this time, he thought his father only judged him, but his father had been silently fighting battles he never talked about. That evening, Aarav sat at the dinner table before everyone else arrived. His mother looked surprised. Tara smiled slightly. Then Rajesh entered the room and paused. Nobody spoke for a few seconds. Finally, Aarav stood up and placed the old phone on the table. "I heard the recordings." His father's face changed immediately. "You weren't supposed to hear those," he said quietly. Aarav's eyes became wet. "Why didn't you ever tell me any of this?" Rajesh looked away for a moment before answering. "Because fathers are supposed to stay strong." "No," Aarav whispered. "Fathers are human too." The room became emotional instantly. His mother wiped tears from her eyes. Tara looked down silently. Rajesh finally sat down slowly and said something Aarav never expected to hear. "I was scared." Aarav looked at him carefully. "Scared that you'd fail. Scared that I failed as a father." Aarav shook his head immediately. "You never failed me. We just stopped understanding each other." For the first time in years, the distance between them started disappearing. Days passed. Problems didn't magically end overnight. Money was still tight. Aarav still faced rejection, but the atmosphere inside the house changed completely. They started eating together again, talking again, laughing again. Instead of fighting pressure alone, Aarav started improving his skills daily and taking freelance work online. His father stopped comparing him with others and started encouraging him quietly in his own awkward way. Then one evening, Aarav received an email notification. His heart started beating faster. "Congratulations, you have been selected." He stared at the screen again and again to make sure it was real. Without wasting a second, he ran outside. His father was fixing the old scooter downstairs. "Dad," Rajesh looked up. Aarav smiled through tears. "I got the job." For a second, his father didn't react. Then he stood up slowly and hugged his son tightly. Not like a strict father, not like a disappointed parent, just like a man who had spent years carrying hope silently on his shoulders. Sometimes families don't break because of lack of love. They break because nobody says what they truly feel. Parents hide their struggles to look strong. Children hide their pain to avoid looking weak, and slowly, silence grows between them. But healing begins when people stop trying to win arguments and start trying to understand each other. Because no family is perfect. The real strength of a family is simply this: no matter how many fights happen, they still come back to the same dinner table.